I'm told that I have 8 seconds to grab your attention and make you want to watch or listen to the rest of the program. That leaves 3, 2, 1. Too late. From the studio in the bonus room above the garage on the north side of Cary, at the foot of Mount Belzoni, this is the Triangle Talk Show. Here at episode 41, another bull session. They're kind of all bull sessions, I think. December 16th, 2018, Surge Podcasting. I am this guy. I'm Gary Pierce. I am your resident snowflake, and sitting here in the studio above the garage on the north side of Cary,
just outside my office,
at the foot of Mount Belzoni, is my lovely wife, Cyndi. Frazzled wife. You're a frazzled wife, right?
Yeah. I had to make a quick run over to Staples before it closed to get a new keyboard and mouse because I lost my Feebob. Feebob.
What is a Feebob?
That USB little bitty thing that you plug in that gives you Bluetooth connectivity between your keyboard and your mouse to your computer.
It disappeared. Where did it go? Well, if you knew that,
I'd be getting it.
Wouldn't have to go get another one.
Right.
Yeah. And we tried 2 others.
That said they were just plain old compatible with everything. They aren't.
We work. We work with everything.
Yeah.
We didn't work with everything.
Nope.
Okay.
So $26 later.
You can replace that specific one, though, right? At some point.
What do you mean that specific one?
The
Feebob?
You bought a new keyboard.
I bought a new keyboard
and a new mouse.
Yeah.
I mean, it's a combination.
Yeah.
Comes with the little USB Feebob.
But it's paired to that keyboard and mouse only.
Really?
So I can't buy another Logitech keyboard and mouse. I can't buy another one.
Just another Feebob?
Yeah. I know. I know. Ooh.
Doesn't make any sense.
I know. So Logitech, if you're listening, you got more of my money than I wanted you to.
This episode of the Triangle Talk Show is brought to you by Logitech. Frustrating technology at its best.
Yeah.
Hi, frazzled wife.
Hi.
You haven't been on the podcast in a while.
It's been a couple of weeks. Yeah.
Probably more like a couple months.
I don't know. You should go. No. I'm pretty sure I was, November.
Okay. Well, yeah. Time moves slowly
and
in podcast
I don't remember
land.
what we were talking about. I have no idea.
Time moves slowly in podcast. I could go back and look.
That's okay. Don't bore them with that. Let's move on.
I want to make sure.
Why am I here?
I want to make sure we're in live. Yep, we're streaming live, and the title is correct. Although, it screwed up the warm-up one. Not going to worry about that now. Let's see. The first thing I got to do is check the BBC. You like the BBC, right?
Yeah.
You know I've got a beef with the BBC.
No.
You don't know?
No.
BBC took down one of my podcasts.
I'm confused.
The BBC took down episode 37.
Which was?
News You Don't Use. That was me and Bobby and Dexter, and we were talking about self-driving cars.
Yeah.
And we played a little video from a BBC show.
Oh, okay. There's the connection.
Phone binging, and they took it down. And I filed a dispute, and the dispute is still in progress. I'm looking at the live dispute in progress page now here if you're watching the video. And they got 2 more days to respond to my dispute, and then it's all cleared.
Okay.
The video actually was a takedown. It disappeared. It went blank. It went black, and then it popped back up a couple days later. what am I trying to look for here?
I don't know.
I did an episode 37A where I talk all about it. So if you want to see me talking about all about the dispute, then 37A. Oops, there we go. 37A will get you that. But and when I did that, 37 was down. It was black, and then
Scorched earth.
Yeah, came back up. Surge Podcast. Here's the name of the show. Whoops, that's not the name of the show. That's not the name of the show. There we go. Surge Podcasting. Why are we talking about that? I mentioned to you that I wanted to call the show that.
And I did
earlier today, and you went, why?
Yeah, I didn't get it.
What does that mean?
But it had to do with something that happened to me yesterday.
Which was? And now here's Cyndi with her tale of woe.
I had my first experience with Uber surge pricing.
Yeah. You've been doing Uber for a while.
For about a year and a half now, but mostly in Charlotte. And it's at least 3-4 times or more. Well, it's more than that a month. In Berlin. We did a little bit of Ubering when we were in Berlin earlier this year. So I've heard about surge pricing, but I've never experienced it. And last night, I wanted to take the 7 p.m. Amtrak train back from Charlotte to Cary.
What would you have? Normally that's $20 or so?
It goes between 17 and 23. Just kind of depends.
On who knows?
Well, there's an algorithm, obviously, that they use to determine
how busy things are.
Yeah.
It's a demand.
Supply and demand. It's just basic supply and demand. And yesterday,
good old capitalism.
It was raining.
Friday.
It was
rush
Friday, rush hour. It was raining. It's less than 2 weeks before Christmas.
None of the variants that you'd seen before was called surge, though.
No, when it goes between 17 to 23, that's it's just typical day stuff that, it is still supply and demand, but it ended up being $57. And I just, about passed out when I saw it. So what I did, as I said, well,
what would you have guessed a surge would have been?
I guessed I would have seen 36, maybe even 40 tops. But when it was 57 versus 17, I was like, holy cow, what is going on?
I wouldn't even have given them that much. I would have thought, surge. If it's normally $20 or so, surge would be 25.
No.
At 30, I would have started to go, huh?
Well, believe me, I said more than huh when I saw how much it was. So I said,
don't worry, there's competition. There's always a different way to do it.
And so I tried that different way. I went back to old school. I said, yellow cab. Let's just call yellow cab. Call. Now remember, call. They may have an app, I don't know, but I was in a hurry because time was ticking away. I usually leave an hour. On Fridays, I always leave at least an hour before, and it's never been
about
an issue.
30-minute trip.
20 minutes if you don't hit any traffic.
Yeah. Well, and this was rush hour, so it's going to take a little longer, too.
Well, no. 20 minutes during rush hour sometimes.
Oh, okay.
So anyway, I quickly found Yellow Cab on the website.
You didn't look them up in the phone book?
No, I didn't have one available to me. So I just used my smartphone. And somebody answers, they go, yeah.
Yeah. Hello.
And I'm like,
what do you want?
Is this Yellow Cab?
You woke me up. What do you want?
Yeah. And I quite a few beats that I paused because I'm like, this definitely isn't going to go well. I can already tell. So I said, well, I need to get to the train station, from this address. How soon can you pick me up? 7:30. I was like, no, click. So I ended up paying $57. But I had a fabulous Uber driver, great conversationalist. I think his name was Trey. And he was just a ball to talk to. So I felt better about spending the $57. If it had been somebody who
got a ride and a show.
Oh, well, just a really good conversation. And it's very rare, I'm discovering, that you don't get an Uber driver that isn't kind of fun to talk to. That's
part of the rating system, isn't it?
It is. And they know that. And they do, it's interesting. They do little things like a lot of people will put little candy jars in the back seat. The ones I like are that put all of the different power cords into the back seat. So you have a way of, connecting up your iPhone, which is very smart.
And they suck down all your data.
I've only had one that actually put, and this was funny because he was driving a Lexus, which may explain it. He actually had a tip jar, an old-fashioned tip jar that you're supposed to dump, money into, which I thought was very funny because what's the thing that makes Uber so easy? You don't have to get any cash. You don't have to get your credit card out. It's just a quick little app, boom, 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 and you're done. You don't have to carry cash.
And you could still do that with this guy. I mean, it's on the app.
I just did it on the app. Yeah, I did. But I just thought, well, isn't that interesting that he's offering up a tip jar? Like I said, the guy's driving a Lexus. He's got a few more bucks in maintenance than most, like the Honda, Accord that I had last night.
You had I was going to say that you had a CRV.
Yes, I personally had a CRV. Right. But I'm just saying the guy, Trey, had, I think it was a Honda Accord, which is it was brand new. It was very nice. They've really upped their game with Honda, by the way. No more stick man, hang man. So,
you're talking about the navigation
I'm talking about the navigation system. A 2011 CRV was like doggone hangman game.
2011, that's old technology.
It was.
It's not. No, it was not. It was
then. It was, somewhat on the cutting edge.
No, it wasn't. It was terrible. There were all kinds of examples of better, Google Maps. Google Maps,
yes, but
great.
For a car, they were slightly behind. Yeah,
they were terrible.
Yeah. So anyway,
so you had a good conversation.
I had a good conversation.
He got you to the train on
driver.
time.
Yeah, very nice guy. So it worked out okay, and the train was only 15 minutes late, I think.
Getting in?
Yeah.
20, maybe.
Okay.
I don't know why they don't just say, it's scheduled for, 10 o'clock?
Well, think about it, though. If for some bizarre reason they don't have to slow down for anything along 160 miles.
Do.
They always do. It's rare that we ever get in right on time. But I will say, if you're on the first, 3 or 4 stops, so if you're like Kannapolis, Salisbury, High Point, Greensboro, you got a pretty good chance you're going to get there on time. But, I'm down the line. I've got Burlington and Durham before Cary. And there's always, because there's a lot of single track between Greensboro and Cary, it's not unusual to have to stop and slow down to let the freight train by or some other Amtrak train go by. So. Not
only is it not unusual, it always happens.
Oh, to varying degrees.
Well, because those trains are scheduled. They're always going to be going by. They know when they're going.
Yeah. But, if they time
People don't just jump in the cab of a train and take a ride.
No, but that's what I'm saying. You were about to say that they should just say it's always going to be late. And I'm like, no, because
they shouldn't call it late. They just said this is when it shows up. If it's there early, well, then they just sit there until it's time to go. They're never early.
Then they're going to grouse because, but anyway, doesn't matter.
Okay. You like the train. We did an episode on training.
You did.
In the train.
In the train, talking to somebody that was he? It was a volunteer, though, wasn't he?
Yeah, it was a volunteer. What did they call the job?
I don't know. It's a volunteer. It's just like a host.
Yeah.
A host on the train just to answer questions like, where's the bathroom?
So you have totally gotten into the idea that you'd rather take the train.
Yeah.
And the time I rode with you and then rode back by myself, I enjoyed that. I realized when I got back, I wasn't frazzled from driving.
Yeah.
But I haven't wanted to take the train again if I'm going to go down to Charlotte. Your folks live in Charlotte, which is why we go down there a lot. Haven't wanted to take the train by myself again. And
the only thing I can see is why you don't is because you can't play with your radio.
Got all the ham radio stuff in there.
Yeah, the ham radio stuff. But as far as your tunes go...
Which actually, as I'm driving, I'm not playing with it very much anymore. I'm listening to podcasts.
I'm going to write that down.
I could take the train.
Yeah.
I feel
more in control.
Yeah, naked is not quite the right word, but without the stuff.
I've gotten past
without
that.
My car.
I love my car, and I cherish my car when I get back home.
Yeah. How's this self-driving thing doing with your car?
It works.
It's not self-driving.
Not,
shouldn't say.
No, it's
driver assist.
Driver assist. Yeah, no.
Gotten totally used to it.
Yeah.
I was kind of worried. I drove your car for a bunch when mine was limping a little bit. And so I drove yours a bunch, and then and you were down in Charlotte. Mm-hmm. And I was kind of worried getting back in my car. Am I going to think it's going to hold the lane and stop itself? And
no, because
it turns out I didn't have that problem.
No, you've got too many cues because it's your car and it's so different. There's just too many cues in there.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I don't think that's going to be a problem.
Yeah. Did you hear how I started this show? I've got 8 seconds to grab your attention. Did you wonder about that?
Sort of, and then you never said anything, so I figured it was just a senior moment.
Off it went.
You went somewhere else.
Nah. We had a podcasters meetup the other night, and there was a presentation by a couple, Gene and Julie Gates. They were morning hosts on WRAL FM a few years ago. I think they were there for a couple of years. They've done radio shows, morning shows in markets medium and big, including Los Angeles, in their checkered career. Everybody in radio's got a checkered career. They wouldn't mind me saying that, right, Gene and Julie? Anyway, so they're thinking podcasting is way to go now. They're trying to figure out just exactly what they want to do. But they were giving us neophyte podcasters some tips on things. They had half a dozen, maybe 10 specific tips on what to do. And one of them was, you got 8 seconds to grab someone's attention and get them to stick with the show.
And you just blew it.
3, 2, too late.
Yeah, you just blew it.
Of the, let's say, 10 things that they suggested, I do one of them.
Okay.
And
now we're getting somewhere.
I absolutely do not do any of the others. I would
what were the others?
List for you what they were. I probably can't remember. Well, a few of them I can remember. The ideal length for a show is
7 minutes.
Well, it's more like 20. It is a commute. The distance of a kind of the average commute. And I do a show that is the length of the average drive from Raleigh to Charlotte.
Yeah.
So if that's your commute on the train or in a car, you're all set. Mm-hmm. You've got a pause button. You can stop the show and
Well, it goes with any podcast.
How can I go to work now? I'm halfway through this podcast.
A driveway moment.
Yeah, well, it would a driveway, pull into the
NPR
garage,
driveway moment.
Park your car, and don't leave the motor running or you're going to kill yourself moment. You listen to the half of the show, and then you got to work all day until you can listen to the other half.
What were the other things that you don't do? True confessions.
The thing that I do is that they said you could talk about what your beliefs, what you believe in, what your philosophies are.
Yeah, you don't have a problem with that.
Yeah. So I said, okay, I do one of them. I got one, nailed one.
All right, what else?
Something to break the monotony is not quite the right word, but to break the elements. You got
to wake them up again.
Yeah, if you've got, you and I are doing that just because we're talking as two people, and I stopped talking.
You're not doing a monologue, although you're trying.
I'm good at it.
Bazinga.
I'm smiling. For those of you in the video audience, I'm smiling.
We've been together too long. I know you.
So it could be a little music.
And by the way, it is after 5:00 p.m. here, so it's okay if I'm drinking a glass of wine.
Wonderful wino. I could hear that slosh down. Well, I got my headphones turned up real loud. The audience probably couldn't hear it. Back it up, turn up your volume, and listen to that gulp. There's like 8 ounces of wine in there, and she just drank 3 of them at once.
I did not.
It could become an interesting show toward the end. So I think that's about all I can really remember. Sorry, Gene and Julie, but Maybe they'll come on this show sometime and show me.
So when
how
you
to do a
heard the
show.
things, did you just go, never, not going to do that?
You know, I've been in this business for a long time. Not necessarily the podcasting business, but I've been perched on one of the higher rungs of the media empire business in the job that I've had. I know what works. I just won't do it.
Choose not to do it.
Choose not to do it.
Okay.
I have a mentor. I have not a mentor in that somebody who actually knows me. I have said 3 words to this person back and forth in my entire life. A role model, an idol.
Who is?
His name is Steve Dahl. He was one of the original shock jocks. He appeared about the same time as a guy everybody knows, much more familiar coast to coast, whose name suddenly has flown from my brain. That he's on Sirius.
Yeah.
Got his own. Used to be on WNBC or stations in New York. Why can't I think of his name? Why aren't you telling me his name? Because you don't care. Anyway, he did the movie Private Parts.
Yeah.
Why do I remember that? And I can't remember this guy. Are you texting?
No, somebody's texting me.
Yeah.
So
And
Howard Stern, by
Howard
the way.
Stern,
That I'm going to help you out a little bit.
that's the guy. Don't get old. I recommend you in the audience don't get old. It's a terrible thing. Okay, so Steve Dahl and Howard Stern both rose to prominence in the 80s. And Steve was in Chicago. Howard Stern was in New York. Steve would always complain that Howard Stern just ripped off his thing. Back at that time, on the radio, you can tell, if you're watching the video, you can tell I've got Cindy's rapt attention as she is staring at her phone, texting. Your car lets you do that and drive now too, right?
It would. It can, but I choose not to do that. No, I'm not going to do that.
You can let go for 30 seconds.
Mm-hmm. Continue, dear.
So back in the 80s, radio personalities introduced records, read the weather, some what they call liners, some like written out things. And occasionally they could slide in 10, 15 seconds worth of some shtick and on to the next record. Better if the shtick that you were doing came over the musical lip of the record. Mm-hmm. And then you talked until the vocal started and stopped just as the vocal started. That was the ultimate ability of a disc jockey. That's one of the things. Oh, that's one of the things that Gene and Julie were talking about, is that the musical piece of a record is getting shorter and shorter. It used to be 15 seconds or 10 seconds, and now it's like 3 to 5 seconds. Also, the in a TV show, the opening credits used to be a couple of minutes worth. They'd have a theme song. They'd put all the credits in.
Right. And now they still can have a theme song, but the credits
almost
tend
never.
The credits just roll over whatever's going on.
Yeah. Well, usually the shows start, they just start.
Yeah,
You're in the show. Boom, you're in the show. And then they may put in the title. They will put in the title at some point. It could be 10 seconds in. It could be a couple of minutes in.
Yeah.
But it's only going to take a few seconds.
Well, The Good Wife does that. It's like a couple of minutes in.
That's our current go-to show. It's the only show that you and I agree on watching.
One of the very few, yes.
We're binging that because we didn't catch it first time around.
Right.
We're in like episode 5 or something. And we got 3 or 4 more episodes or seasons to go. So.
Yep. And then hopefully some of the other ones will pop back up that we're waiting on.
We hope. So the first show that I recognized that happening on was Heroes. It was a superhero type show. mutant people show. People who got abilities far beyond those of mortal man. And that was the first one where I noticed. It's probably not the first one that did that, but they would just start the show, the first scene, and then somewhere a couple minutes in, it just kind of went, "Fong heroes," and then maybe they went to a commercial break, but more likely they just kept on with the show. There's a few shows around that are still doing the couple of minutes worth of opening credits. The one I can think of is NCIS.
Okay.
And you don't watch NCIS, but
No.
that is one of the longest running shows still currently running. Primetime scripted shows.
And that's probably why they continue to do that.
Yeah, because they can get away with it and they're still like huge. Well, Big Bang Theory still does. It's short.
It's very short, and it comes at like a minute in. They always open.
Yeah, okay. They do what they call the cold open.
Yeah.
But it's longer than most.
Yes.
It's still not very long, and it's the catchy Bare Naked Ladies song. And then on they go. So anyway, that's one of the other things that they were talking about. So the way I open this show doesn't take very long. And still nobody knows what the foot of Mount Belzoni is all about.
I forget.
And I'm not
you
telling.
told me, but
I'm
I forget.
I'm not going to tell. At some point, I'll make it the focus of an episode. You out there, go find it for me. See if you can figure it out.
So have we gotten past the first item on your list for the show?
Yeah, we're like 3.
Really?
We had an outing today.
Yes, we did.
We don't do the town very much. Would you say that's a fair statement?
It is a fair statement.
Don't do the town very much?
No, but
we did today. Sort of. We went up to Durham to a music venue called Motor Co., which I'd heard of but had never been to before. It's for the kids. It is not for us.
there were a lot of people our age in there. I mean, some of them were grandparents.
This wasn't the venue. This wasn't the activity that they typically do. I don't think.
No. But there was plenty of people our age in there.
Yeah. Well, this was an event for the School of Rock, not the Jack Black movie. There's a cultural reference.
Yes.
The kids will appreciate, I think. It was the School of Rock, at least the version we're talking about is in Cary. And a friend of ours, Jeff, is
in a band.
A member of a band. And I don't know if he still takes lessons or he just uses he's pretty good. He plays the bass and he plays keyboards, and I think he can play drums.
Yeah.
Anyway, so the School of Rock forms groups. And they
put on shows.
They do kids and they do adults, and they put them into actual shows performing before mostly
live audience.
Live audience made up mostly of friends and family.
It's like dance recital with instruments.
Okay.
Having come from that growing up doing dance recitals, but that was only once a year.
I came up from that in high school band. I was in the band. I played trumpet. And a couple times a year we'd put on a concert. The parents would all come, and as my dad described us, the 4 slow leaks.
Nice dad.
Yeah, thanks, Dad. I kind of wish I had taken up, like, the guitar would have been like a lifetime of fun. The trumpet, not an instrument you play just to entertain
just for
yourself.
Fun. Yeah, just entertain yourself. No, or your neighbors.
Yeah. I got adequately good at it to play concert stuff. But, sold it about 10 years ago or so. Dragged that thing around, tried to play it every once in a while, but you got to build up your lip, your armature. Got to be able to.
Blow a raspberry.
If you try, that's pretty much what you're doing into the mouthpiece is blow a raspberry. Sorry, there's enough distance here. I think I'm safe. I got you. And it takes a while to get, you don't get calloused, but your
calloused lips.
The muscles get used to the idea. Otherwise, if you play for very long without having built that up, then you're going to hurt yourself.
Probably.
It's going to be
give yourself
painful.
a headache too.
Yeah. So here's the School of Rock playing at Motor Call. Yeah, the first group we saw, we got there a little after they started, was the kids, and they're in Halloween costumes, I guess.
Don't know. It's quite possible.
Yep.
They
Leftover
might dress
Halloween.
like that every day.
Yep.
I don't know.
And then they went to the adults. So let me see if I can find the adults here. Yeah, there's the adults, and
That was Jeffy.
yeah, that's, if you're looking at the video, that's our buddy Jeffy's playing the bass. This is the first time this group has played before an audience.
And they did very well.
Yeah, well,
For playing the first time in front of an audience.
my goal here is not to be a critic of this stuff, because they're playing for fun. Nobody's expecting to take the next step or two up to playing a stadium.
Right.
My general comment about all of this is that most of these people get pretty good at playing their instruments. The guitars, the drums, keyboards, they get pretty good. They're not Eric Clapton good on a guitar, but only 4 or 5 people in the world are that good. The tough part is singing. You would think, singing, anybody can sing.
No.
You don't need to
I'm living proof.
don't need to learn how to play an instrument it's not a difficult thing. You just learn the words and sing. No, don't sing.
No.
Very few people can sing well. As any audition session from America's Got Talent, Most Wanted,
American Idol, all that.
American Idol.
Yeah.
Everyone thinks they can.
Yeah.
I've recorded myself just to see if I can.
I don't even have to record myself to know. I do not have the talent.
I'll sing along in the car, and you're the only person I'll sing along in the car with. You can certify that I do not have talent singing.
Well, you do, actually. I mean, you're better than I am.
Yeah, but there's if I get like 80% right and 20% clunker, those clunkers are painful.
Not like mine.
She said it. I'm not. Did you say I'm not that bad, or just
you're
better
not as bad as I am?
Well, okay. So let's talk about a low
and that's
bar.
Low bar, yeah. That's like on the floor.
Yeah, I don't know how good you are because you have never sung loud enough for me to hear you.
Trust me, you don't want me to.
Ever been to a karaoke?
No.
Yeah, me either. Don't want to go.
No.
I get though.
Not unless you're really drunk.
I get the feeling every once in a while in a live performance thing, a small one. Oh, it'd be cool to go up there and and I know this song. Let's join in. I can't sing harmony. If I could sing harmony, and it's like, oh, I could do it. I'm sure I could do that.
And you might.
No,
I can't.
Nope. But these guys, they're having a lot of fun. Jeff was telling us their rehearsal went poorly. He was a little worried going into this gig, but they did well, and he was pretty pumped. He was pretty happy about it afterwards.
Mm-hmm.
I want to start a regular segment of the Triangle Talk Show. Driving complaints.
Why?
Well, because we all have them, and we all love to share them.
No, I've gotten over it.
Yeah,
I've gotten over it.
So
everybody thinks they're a better driver than anybody else on the road. Bottom line. And guess what?
Probably not.
Not really.
Yeah. Well, the one I wanted to mention in this time because no, I mean that's a perennial. That's
yeah,
it's an evergreen. And they're pretty much all evergreens. They're pretty much all going all the time. But one that I don't think I've heard mentioned very often by other people. So I wanted to be a little unique, and that is pedestrians who cross the street, or more typically in a parking lot. Pedestrians have the right of way in a parking lot. Mm-hmm. Most parking lots don't give you sidewalks, don't give you a place to walk. You've got to walk somewhere. In theory, you get over along the side by the the back end of other parked cars, and people can drive down the lane, the aisle. But if someone is going to walk across, you, as the car, you give them right of way.
Mm-hmm. But you expect them to ante up a little bit, too, in the whole situation.
Yep. You don't have headphones on, so what you can't tell right now is as you're going, you are going right into the mic. It's going.
Okay, so, most of the time I'm too far away.
But I don't want you farther away. I want you turned a little bit. Well, the other way, because that puts your breath away from the microphone. Talk across the mic.
Yes, dear.
There's your professional
tip for the day.
Yeah, your pro audio tip of the day.
People walking in parking lots.
Yeah, they'll walk across at a diagonal, mm-hmm. which doubles the length of distance and time that they are taking their right of way. Mm-hmm. And they're not thinking about it. I'm just going to go from the side of the aisle to the other. And today it was across the street. We were making a left turn. There's some folks who were crossing the street, jaywalking in the middle.
Yeah, this is Durham.
You still don't want to hit them. You don't want to hit them, right?
No, I do not want to hit them.
Sometimes you do. So they're going at a 45-degree angle to the street, mm-hmm. taking their
sweet time.
Sweet time. Okay, that's it. That's all I wanted to mention.
Okay, you feel better now?
Yeah, just because the folks in the audience are going, I hadn't thought of that. In their cars, they're going to be mad at it as a pedestrian, and we all transition between car mm-hmm. and pedestrian. All of that stuff you're mad at people about, you forget, and you go do it. Mm-hmm. You become guilty. Going to get political a little bit here.
Uh-oh, it's time for me to leave.
Nope, you're going to stay.
Excuse me?
Lock the doors. Washi, lock the doors. We should have brought a cat toy. That would have attracted a cat.
We can still do that.
You invented one.
I did.
We call it
MOS.
Mouse on a String.
Mm-hmm.
It's a little toy mouse with a rattle in it.
Probably one around here.
And you put it on a string and drag it around, and blind cats go nuts.
Mm-hmm.
They ask for it by name. Oh, no, she's going to sneak out the door. Washi, don't. I don't think you'll find one in here.
I think we can. It's around here somewhere.
She's gone.
No, I'll be back. Hold on.
She promises. Silent Sam. The UNC Board of Governors have kicked the can down the road. They had proposed the $5 million shrine. I'll go with shrine to Silent Sam. The stories I've read recently, it was going to be a historical museum, I guess, so it would have had a few more things in it besides just Silent Sam. But it was going to be a $5.3 million history center is what the last story I read talked about it. And you got a cat?
Yeah, a Duber. Come on, baby.
Did you attract her with a toy?
No. It's just typical. There you go. There's Dad. A Woober.
This is why she
Woober. You look cute, kid.
Yeah. You want to climb on the back of my chair?
Does she do that?
She does that. She learned from the mouse.
Okay. Wow. Yeah, because you can see the back of your chair is well worn from the mouse.
All right. So the UNC Board of Governors looked at the proposal from, I don't know who was making the proposal, somebody else in the administration, for doing this history center to house the disputed Silent Sam statue. And the Board of Governors rejected that. And they have formed a committee to figure out what to do next. These are some of the smartest people in the state, right? In theory. Mm-hmm. I mean, they run one of the premier universities, not just in the state, but I think acknowledged in the country. It's not Harvard. It's not Yale.
No, but it's here in the South.
It's a public university. So.
With people whose families have been here in the South for generations. That's what makes it different from Harvard, Yale, Princeton.
As far as Silent Sam is concerned, or everything? Because I don't know what the folks in Yale think about Silent Sam. They probably don't think about Silent Sam.
Probably not.
But they're supposed to be smart. Mm-hmm. And so they make a proposal that everybody hates, and they pretty quickly say, yeah, apparently everybody hates this. We interrupt the Triangle Talk Show to play with cats.
Sorry, but when they're clawing at you.
Okay.
Unfortunately,
now this puts you about 7 feet from the microphone. So.
Yeah, well. What are you going to do? What are you going to do?
Just trying to figure out if you're reading something. This is a blind cat. All cats, if you're reading a book or a tablet or something, they'll get in front of it. But a blind cat, they still do. They can't tell what you're doing, but they'll still.
It is interesting that they know where your attention is, or is it literally directed?
Yeah. So, they are. They don't know what they're going to do, but they think that what they want to do is get it off campus. Mm-hmm. And they're going to run headlong into the law that the legislature came up with in 2015, which says you can't move a historical monument without the approval of the State Historic Commission.
Okay.
The thumping you're hearing is a blind cat rubbing itself against the microphone. So, more power to them. Let's challenge that. We're not going to overturn it with the current legislature we got or the new one coming in because, well, it's not a veto-proof majority anymore. It's still Republicans still got a lock on the legislature. So any bills to change it are probably not. Yeah, we'll see. Is it pure racism? You're a grit.
Yes.
A grits.
A grit.
Girl raised in the South. Mm-hmm. I guess a grit would be just girl raised in the.
Yes.
We need the S.
Yeah, we need the S.
But you don't have historic roots back to the Confederacy.
Oh, I do. My grandmother, my great-grandmother, I think was a part of the DAR, Daughters of the American Revolution.
Well, the American Revolution is the whole country.
Yeah.
And that's a little farther back. Daughters of the Confederacy is a different thing.
Yeah.
So, I mean, your mom was from Joyce.
Well, yeah. Mom's side of the family, no.
Dad's side was Kentucky, which Kentucky. I guess that was South. Okay, they were seceded. Did they?
Look it up.
We're both going. I don't know.
I don't know.
We both got D+ in American history. I don't know. I think Kentucky.
I didn't pay a lot of attention in school, but I'm trying to catch up.
Yeah. Interesting, because you got schooled here in North Carolina.
Yeah.
So my education was up north, not Yankee Land.
No, Midwest.
In the Midwest.
Yep.
But yours was pure South. Mm-hmm. Do you remember what they taught you?
No. That just was not my cup of tea back then. Like I said, I have since been trying to catch up on my history. But I don't remember anything specific leaning, one way or the other.
Did they call it the Civil War or the War between the States?
Both. But I don't know that it was a teacher saying that it should be the war between the states. It was just, we heard that term. But I don't remember anybody.
Well, I heard the term too, but it wasn't totally unfamiliar. But certainly wasn't part of any school.
Well, it was, obviously even here in the South, we were taught that it was, racist. It was a racist war.
Okay, well, that's interesting.
Yeah. I never heard anything different from that.
Do you remember hearing anything about Silent Sam until the past year or so?
No. No, I did not even know who he was. I'm still... And here she comes.
There you go.
Hey, what you doing? What you doing? Okay.
Triangle Talk Show is brought to you by cats. Not the musical, just
cats.
Just the species. No, she's trying to push you up closer to the mic. See? Getting behind you. Good job, Washi.
So no, I didn't even know he existed until the past couple of years.
All right. Well,
so I have nothing.
A committee from UNC, the smartest people in the state, are going to try to figure this one out. Mm-hmm. Make everybody happy.
That is never going to happen. I can guarantee that.
Who should we disappoint?
Have to wait until she hits the ground.
Yeah. Who should we disappoint?
Well, we'll find out.
Well, who do you want to disappoint? I know who I want to disappoint. Remember they told me to go ahead and state my views and stuff?
Uh-huh. Go for it. I'm just going to sit here and enjoy my wine and let you whine.
Well, I don't mind disappointing the Confederate flag wavers. Of course, I'm a carpetbagger. I'm a GD Midwesterner. Because you couldn't have married a Yankee. Right?
Wouldn't have gone over.
I'm beginning to wonder if you did. But I've been down here 20 in a few weeks. It'll be 29 years.
Yeah.
So, what is that? What does that qualify me for? Free cup of coffee and a donut at Krispy Kreme?
Mm-hmm. Krispy Kreme, absolutely not Dunkin'.
Yeah. Well, Krispy Kreme is
based in the South.
Yeah, born in Winston-Salem.
Yes. I thought everybody...
Where you were.
I grew up thinking Krispy Kreme was everywhere. Everywhere I was.
It's beginning to be. We pull out of the airport
in
at Kahului, Maui, Hawaii.
And it's right there.
First thing you see.
Hot now.
So, yeah, kind of everywhere. All right, so I don't mind disappointing the guys that say it's our heritage, it's our grandpappies. Okay. It's a heritage that was putting other people, owning other human beings and putting them in slavery. That's the heritage. Plantation life was something. I'm not sure what. Yeah, it's historical. It's iconic. But the folks working there, they were slaves. And worse than that, once they weren't slaves anymore, we treated them like shit. Mm-hmm. For decades. And we still try to. Some people still try to. Mm-hmm. They can't get away with it in public anymore.
Right.
But have their minds changed? They hide it.
Yeah.
Don't think their minds have changed. So I don't mind disappointing those people. I don't think we should ignore the history. I think we should keep a few of those relics, put them someplace where we can go and say, my God, look what we did. Remember Berlin? Mm-hmm. Germany has figured out how to do this.
Yeah.
We haven't figured it out yet. Shall I leave politics behind for a moment?
Yeah, plus I really need to start doing some work. Because I still have that job, remember?
We got 15 more minutes till we reach an hour.
Okay. I'm going to hold you to it.
Okay. So, the episode of Last Man Standing that we saw produced in Hollywood, near Hollywood, Studio City, was aired
last night. Friday night.
Yeah, Friday night. Mm-hmm. So we couldn't... Were we sworn to secrecy? I forget. I think...
it makes sense that we would be, but I don't remember that specifically. No, we didn't sign an NDA, but I mean, it would have been crass of us to, put out a spoiler because a certain thing happened.
Which some people may still have not seen if they're a big fan of the show.
I'm not going to say what it was, but
it was fun.
I want to be nice.
Yeah. It was, you laugh, you cry. So, let's see. I got some pictures to show from the visit. We actually need to do a vacation travelogue show. Mm-hmm. We've done them for Hawaii.
Yep.
Berlin trip. Yeah, we did it for Berlin, didn't we? As a Triangle Talk Show. I think it was well, no, it was in March. I didn't start the show until April.
Right.
So yeah, probably only did the one. Here's you. If you're watching the video, we are standing in Hollywood.
Yep.
And Cyndi
right near
is
the we were standing in what's it called? Chinese Grauman
Chinese Theater. It's not called that anymore. TLC Theater or something like that. But
the Sony Theater.
No,
anyway.
I think it's TLC. Anyway, I thought that was just
it's where the Oscars are held. I don't
think
know.
So. I don't think so. It is right across from the Walk
Fame.
But
the Walk of Fame goes on for blocks.
Yeah, all the stars embedded on it, getting dirty.
Yeah.
Anyway, but this is
the Sony Theater.
Yeah. So this is you pointing at the Hollywood sign. Mm-hmm. So you can see the Hollywood sign from there. And I can figure out how this machinery works. This is what the set looks like, at least what some of the set looks like. They build it as sort of a exploded dollhouse.
A sequential dollhouse.
Yeah. So
it's probably a better description because it's just room lined up next to room. Yeah. And some of them, like you just saw there, the kitchen and the living room, it's the same way it's set up on TV from left to right. But then you have the outdoor man office, Tim's office, just to the right around. Just to the right of the living room there.
Yep. So these are set up side by side. The reason that they do that is they have a live audience. And so a good deal of the show is performed before the live audience. Mm-hmm. And the laughter that you hear comes from the audience. It's not a laugh track. So the dollhouse thing is if you look at the back of a dollhouse, there's no wall. It's open so that you can play with the dolls inside the dollhouse. You're breathing into the mic again. Just turn your head.
Over here.
But the dollhouse is typically 2 stories, and so you got one on top of the other. This is not going to be 2 stories. It's just going to, everything's side by side by side. Yeah. And yes, here we're looking at, this is the living room set over on the right, and that's the kitchen set, and they work together because there's a door between them, and people will walk between them. But just to the right of the living room set is the office set. I don't think I got a picture of that. This is you and me with the stars chairs.
Yep.
And you can sort of see it here. Again, this is the kitchen set, the living room set, and then just around the corner is the office, which is not physically anywhere near where the kitchen and living room would be. But that way you can see them as you are sitting in the audience watching. You can see some better than the others.
2 to 3.
Yeah, depending. The audience is not deep, but it's long.
Yes.
And so you can see some parts of the set better than others. Mm-hmm.
This one only about 4 rows deep, I think.
Maybe 6. And they perform the show. We were standing up in the rafters. This is looking down at the what would be the Outdoor Man showroom set. Mm-hmm. And that didn't appear anywhere in the show, so they didn't have it set up. Moved some crap into it for storage, I guess. Another look down from the catwalk that we were on.
Yeah.
And these are all the sets lined up over there, and then the audience is over here.
Back there, yeah.
And these are just baffles to try to keep the noise down. it's not totally soundproof. It's
No, as we discovered whenever
good sound treatment,
plane
but
would
yeah,
take off from Burbank Airport.
Yeah, planes could make noise. So they perform the show as if it's a play from beginning to end.
Right.
Most things in Hollywood are not done that way. They shoot, if they're going to shoot in one location, they try to get everything. If it's a 2-hour movie and one location gets used in the first 15 minutes and then in the last 15 minutes, well, they shoot both at the same time, just because it's efficient. You save money doing it that way. But for a live studio audience, it would make no sense if they shot everything in the living room and then moved to the kitchen and shot all the kitchen scenes and then moved to the office.
Benefit of the audience.
They're going back and forth. That puts some constraints on things. There's not going to be a lot of wardrobe changes.
No.
Everything is going to happen pretty much within the confines of a day. They could do a wardrobe change if they needed one, but to move things along, they had shot a couple of these scenes.
At least two scenes.
Yeah, they did those in advance.
Bar in the veterans.
Yeah, the VA hall.
The VA hall, yeah.
Yeah, and those were sets within that stage.
But for various timing reasons, because the audience...
Get back to the microphone. I gave you permission not to breathe into it.
Because they didn't want the audience to have to sit through that much time, because then the energy of the audience starts to tank. So they didn't want them sitting there for 4 hours. I asked John about that.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and that's why they don't do it, is because they don't want the audience to be sitting there for 4+ hours, because they're not going to get the same enthusiasm out of them.
Yeah,
it's
a half-hour show.
An hour one.
It's a half-hour show.
Yeah, but they never know how long it's going to take to.
And of that half hour, there's actually only about 22 minutes of show.
But for various reasons, they have to start and stop.
Yeah, and they'll do a scene. I think that they did 3 takes on one scene and 2 takes on a couple of others.
Yeah, two was average, but there was only one where I think it was 3 or maybe even 4.
Yeah.
But that impressed me that they didn't make as many mistakes as I thought they would, especially being live like that. They were really quite good.
Yeah. One of the things that our friend producer John Amadeo told us, if you watch the credits, and you'll see toward the end of the credits, I think somewhere, executive producer John Amadeo is our friend. One of the things he told us is that if a line doesn't work for them, they'll rewrite it. They had all the writers right there on the stage.
Yeah.
They'll rewrite it. They'll take it, 10 minutes, rewrite it, and then redo the scene with the new line.
So between that and the one they have to stop for the airplanes coming over, yeah.
Or just a star blows a line.
That
didn't happen very often.
Did not happen very often. Maybe twice, I think. But the rest of it was rewriting lines or stopping because of an airplane.
Yep.
That I could remember. But they did a very good job of remembering their lines.
One of the surprising things was that some of the backdrops are literally just painted on a sheet, giant sheet. We're showing the video audience. One, it's the outside of the house, and you see Rocky Mountains in the background, and then you see a lot of lights and other equipment just kind of piled up in front of it.
And that thing is done by dot matrix printer, if I remember right. Takes a long time.
Could be. And if you're standing there in person, and even this picture that I'm showing on the video, it doesn't look very real. But watch the show, and you'll see it.
Yeah.
And it looks very real. This part, I think you can see out of the windows of some of the rooms in the house, maybe the garage. So interesting behind the scenes stuff. Here's another look at it, but all the equipment piled up in front of it kind of ruins the illusion. Plus the lights aren't on from it. He said that you see some windows here, and the windows are translucent, so they can put some lights behind them and make them look like they're lit up for a night shot.
Yeah, very smart.
Yep. And have I got any more here? Oh, there's...
I've got tons here.
There's you and me. Well, I didn't put all the pictures here. This is you and me sitting on the living room sofa.
Mm-hmm. Just hanging out.
On the set. And our main purpose for being there, other than watching the show, was to operate the ham radio. And this is you. And our co-host in the background from the ham radio show, his name is David Goldenberg. And then in the middle is Jet Jurgenmeister, who is the new Boyd this season.
Yeah.
And he was interested in the ham radio stuff, so he operated the ham radio along with you for a little while, along with me, and then just talked to us in the background. And
yeah, I was impressed at how interested he was in it, just because being a kid and having the internet and all the the neat things that come along with that he would be so fascinated with ham radio.
Yeah.
So that was really nice. He's a sharp kid. He's going places.
Yes, you're going to be seeing him on shows for a long time.
Yeah.
There we are, hiking near the Hollywood sign.
Yep.
You can actually get, you can hike.
That was in the morning before the show. Yeah, that's what we were hoping for, but we just couldn't get the time in to do it.
Yeah, you can't walk right up to it. There's a fence around it. You can't see from the distance of this picture, but you can hike these trails and walk around behind it, and probably in front of it at some point. So we had a good time.
Yeah, that was fun.
We'll do our total travel log of that show someday. Is that all I've got here? I think so. Okay, there's one more thing. In the show, in the script, they made reference to a couple songs. They were talking about putting the star on top of the tree. And I don't remember exactly the lines, but it was leading up to put a ring on it.
Right.
And they changed it to put a star on it.
That was the first, because I forget, Mandy said that it was a Beyonce tree because it looked good from every angle.
Oh, yeah, okay. Yeah, you remember the script better than me.
Yeah.
We watched the show just last night, I think, yesterday morning. Yeah, and so the mom, Nancy Travis, was going to say...
should have put a star on it.
Could have put a ring on it, but they can't say that.
Right. And I'm not sure how they got around it, because the line was, Nancy said, you should have put a star on it. And then Tim says, I think I'm starting to feel sorry that I put a ring on it, meaning his wife,
they came as
for
close
being
as they can.
Yeah, but
they
still,
may get a takedown from Beyonce.
Right.
We'll see.
Yeah, I don't know technically how they got around. I'd be curious to talk to John about that, to see how they managed to work around it, because the words are all there.
Yeah. If it had been the BBC song, they would have gotten a takedown right away.
Right. So I don't know, but it was that was a very fascinating aspect of filming shows in the dialogue, is how sensitive. And the other one was the 12 Days of Christmas. They
came back from a commercial break singing 12 Days of Christmas at 4 calling birds.
Yes, and there's a reason why it was
because
4.
Apparently the 5 golden rings line, the song itself
is
everything is public domain except for the 5 golden rings line,
which somebody in Europe, I forget where in Europe.
Well, one of the people who arranged the music, because this has been going on, this song and a poem before it was a song, has been around for hundreds and hundreds of years, which is why it's public domain. But the guy that put in the 5 golden rings line as he arranged the music for it, copyrighted what he could. I didn't realize
that was the reason.
Yeah, and so the 5 gold, but it's not normally 5 golden rings, it's 5 gold rings, but that makes you sing the word gold is 2 syllables. 5 gold rings. Never sing. Don't sing. Don't sing, Gary. Don't sing. Which Americans don't like very much, so we change it to golden. 5 golden rings.
Okay, you've got more information than I do.
Wikipedia is your friend.
Okay.
I looked it up. I found one other thing when I was looking that up.
Our 15 minutes is up.
Our 15 minutes of fame is up. This I'm on the video. I'm showing one of the links I got is I was searching for copyright 5 golden rings. Buy 5 golden rings on Amazon. Low prices for 5 golden rings.
How low are those prices?
Something for Amazon, for Amazon and everything you look up. Read customer reviews and find bestsellers. Free 2-day shopping with Amazon Prime.
5 golden rings is in Home and Kitchen, by the way.
Yeah. At Amazon?
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Home garden, it says here.
Well, it's Christmas. They're Christmas ornaments.
Low prices. 5 golden rings.
That is too funny. Too funny.
Okay. One last thing. Our area lacks the cool factor.
Oh, yeah. Yeah.
So we didn't get the Amazon headquarters. We didn't get the Apple headquarters. We got...
Well, Apple wasn't going for headquarters.
Well, we'll get back to that microphone. We got an Amazon warehouse. We got Advanced Auto Parts headquarters, moved from Roanoke, I think, or down to Raleigh. So we got some stuff, but we didn't get the big gets, the Amazon, the Apple, the Army was looking around to do something big.
Okay.
Didn't get any of those. So there's lots of stuff out there about why that didn't happen. But one article that I came across was a guy who does business consulting for BDO. People who know.
No BDO.
I have no idea who BDO is. Evidently, I'm not somebody who knows.
Yeah.
Yeah. It's a business consulting firm.
Yeah.
And a guy named Stringer, I should have gotten his first name. He said that Raleigh and North Carolina's biggest weakness is a lack of identity. And a quote, the region suffers from a lack of cool factor. It's a hard thing to describe, but you feel it and you know it when you see it. So we're not cool.
No.
Sorry, we're not
Sorry.
cool. We're one of the best places to live. We're not cool. But meanwhile, Morrisville is now a best place to live. It's been named that by a place called the Housing Predictor, a national real estate survey company. So Morrisville is now a best place to live. Cary's been one in North Carolina.
Yeah.
Cary's been one. Apex has been one. Every town. I'm pretty sure that this is all just kind of PR stuff. Don't think there's... Is there any difference between Cary, Apex, and Morrisville? Is there any significant difference? If I were to blindfold you
to wherever you're trying to get to.
Get back to that microphone.
It's location for wherever you're trying to get to.
If I were to blindfold
where you live and where you work.
Okay, but
yes, if you blindfolded me, and there's not enough difference.
Drove you around for a while and
they all munged
kicked
together.
you out in a neighborhood.
Yeah.
If I kicked you out in Preston, you'd know where you were. If I kicked you out in Nightdale, you'd know you were not in Cary.
I don't know. I haven't been to Nightdale lately. It could,
look
more like Cary now.
Yeah, they probably got some neighborhoods to do.
Yeah.
But yay! Congratulations, Morrisville. You're a best place to live.
Well, it's close to RTP.
We could throw a rock and hit Morrisville from here. So let's do that. Let's go out on the lawn and throw rocks at Morrisville. Let's see. Anything else I want to toss in here? Nope. We'll hang on to everything else for later on. I would like to thank. I would like to be able to speak. I would like to thank my lovely wife, my frazzled wife, Cyndi Pierce.
She needs another glass of wine because hers is empty now.
For appearing on this episode of the Triangle Talk Show. This episode being Surge Podcasting. I am Gary Pierce. I am the show's resident snowflake. Someday I'll be something other than the snowflake, but that's all I am right now. We are done. Thank you for listening or watching, whatever you've done. You don't need to make dinner, right? Because pretty much had that.
I'm just going to do soup and salad.
We went to the pit. The Durham version of the pit.
Yeah.
Yum.
Yep. We were well fed.
Is the pit real barbecue?
God, yes. Absolutely.
It tastes good.
Oh, when I stuck my fork into that stuff today, I was reminded what real barbecue is supposed to taste like.
Because, some of my favorite barbecue ever has been like Wilbur's in Goldsboro.
And it's been so long since I've been to Wilbur's, I don't remember. I remember it was very good.
I think the pit has got something.
It does.
But does that take it out of does that yank it out of Carolina barbecue?
No,
put
it's
somewhere
what
else?
Carolina barbecue is supposed to taste like.
Okay.
Yeah.
So Smithfield, pretty good.
It's still, we eat it. But if I had the pit, in the same place and I had to choose, I'd be going to the pit because I like the barbecue better and the hush puppies are better.
More expensive.
Yeah.
Get what you pay for, I guess.
Yeah.
This episode of the Triangle Talk Show is brought to you by the pit. I wish. All right. We're going to go away and get myself hovered over that YouTube off button. And I will say, thanks for listening. Thanks for watching. Over.
And out.